you guys, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Najwa. Please do me a favor. If you're new here, go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button, hit the bell so you know whenever I post a video. This is going to be a quick one. I know I always say it, but you know, guys, I love coming on here every day and just sending you with just some of my thoughts that pop up in my head throughout the day. It might be about politics, it might be about culture, it might be about TV, whatever. This is the real Najwa, and so this is just what's been popping in my mind. There is a lot of talk about the U.S. debt ceiling, the debt ceiling. Now, I think fundamentally, one place where Republicans and Democrats have differed in the past. Now that's I think that the libertarian Republican Party of the past is gone and has been replaced with some vague, super violent, super prone to conspiracy theory, authoritarian version of that. But in the past, generally, I think that the Republican Party has come from a place of really emphasizing the Constitution, the amendments, emphasizing personal freedoms like the right to bear arms, freedoms like religion, being able to uphold their religion and their values and things like that. And the Democratic Party, just again, speaking historically, has often come from a more secular place, a place about more equity and equality. So I feel like we got to look at this debt ceiling thing from a globalistic standpoint. I'm not trying to claim to be an economist, I definitely read these articles, I look at these videos, I look at the news, and I know that I am receiving that, as a person who has a master's degree, okay? I do have, 6 or 7 years of education, but I'm not an economist. I don't work in the stock market. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a CPA. I'm not looking at these things with necessarily the same insight that, for instance, some others might be able to look at this with. But I can say that I know that Hollywood alone, and I quoted this statistic. This was from a McKinsey study from 2021. I've quoted this statistic a few times now, and we'll keep it, and we're gonna dive deeper with this statistic because you really have to look at this from a globalistic standpoint. I think something that the Republican Party of today is struggling with is emotional intelligence. Intelligence does not end at intellectual intelligence. You have to look at the American economy as being made up of people, okay? People. I know that's really, really hard to think of, but actual human beings. That's what makes up the American economy. And we got this huge, $32 trillion debt ceiling or something like that. Hollywood alone, the McKinsey study says Hollywood alone is losing $10 million a year by not embracing diversity. And people come on my channel, they want to say, oh, you're a grifter, you're race baiting, whatever. I want this world to be better for my mixed race kids in 50 years, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. I don't want to be coming back to this crap, We're human beings. So if you think about that, Hollywood alone, one of the world's biggest markets, one of the world's biggest sources for income, is losing $10 billion a year because it refuses to give opportunities to actors who are of Asian ethnicity, who are of Black ethnicity, who are from a different socioeconomic background or from a different religion, who are immigrants. $10 million a year Hollywood is losing from that. And we want to sit here and complain about a debt ceiling. Now, again, I'm speaking from an emotional place, okay? And I recognize that. But part of financial success is recognizing emotional intelligence. We're human beings, okay? We're not making money just to make money to go and buy cars. We're making money because there are things with emotional value that we can purchase with money. We're human beings. I don't know how much I have to emphasize that. We're supposed to be in this together and not alone. And right now in the U.S., politics are very, very polarized. Everything is a winning game. I need to win this. It's not about we are working on behalf, advocating on behalf, being a voice, hopefully of hope, on behalf of human beings. Okay, now with that being said, and I'm going to wrap up here. If we could take money and put it towards, guns, just fueling the country with guns, why can't we put it towards something as simple as showing representation? And we know what happens with that. When the people of an actual nation have job opportunities, have lasting career opportunities, equity, that comes back to the economy. And I don't know, maybe the debt ceiling wouldn't be so high. And that's 10 million is just Hollywood. That's not counting the automotive industry. That's not counting the research and science sector. That's not counting advertising and marketing and communications and law and the medical the medical sector. Why are we confused about this? We've had an orange buffoon for 10 years, even though he's not even president anymore, guiding the politics, making everybody insane, fearful, angry, aggressive, violent. And it's all a distraction method. It's so that their pockets are filled, and what are the average Americans left with? So, the answer is not, okay, quite possibly in the short term, the answer is very logical fiscal choices. Raising or not raising the debt ceiling, making cuts here, making some swingers here, making some adjustments here, lowering this, hiring that. Okay, great. But can we look at this from a bigger global standpoint? America has been eating its young. It's been imploding upon itself for 10 years. Now, I'm not saying all of this is Donald Trump's fault, but slowly, domestic terrorism, this fear mongering, this political aggression, these political wars have been oozing and growing and metastasizing and mutating for a decade, and circumstances are worse than I've ever seen them. America's going to go into a recession. There's no avoiding that. There's no avoiding that. The difference is when the U.S. went into a recession in the early 2000s, there weren't politicians literally blatantly just advocating openly for bigotry, racism, misogyny, sexism, trying to pull freedom away from women to have autonomy over their own bodies. That wasn't happening in the early 2000s. I'm sorry, far right, but you have let yourself be swindled. What Joe Biden wants to do is tax companies that are making billions. Companies that literally don't even pay their taxes and they're making billions, and they're making billions off of you. The Republicans, what they're advocating for is taking money away from you. So there's a bigger cultural problem here, and I think that also Florida banning books, for example. I feel like the reason I can sit here and talk to you like this is because I grew up in a time where, we actually had to go to the library to get a book if we needed to read a book. And our parents actually encouraged us to read. Right now, people are getting all of their information from conspiracy theories and from politicians who have ulterior motives. They do not care about you. And we have to look at this global thing. We have to look at the way that minority groups have been antagonized, have been excluded, have been persecuted, have been killed. One of the best things about the American economy and what used to be called the American dream was that all of that crap from Great Britain was gone. Okay? You didn't have to be worrying endlessly about your class and if you could feed your children. If you were willing to put in the work, put in the time, you could achieve that dream. Didn't matter if you were an immigrant, didn't matter if you were Latino, didn't matter if you were transgender, didn't matter if you were black. And there always been those dissenting voices in America who basically seem like they want to go back to some sort of fascist or autocratic society. They've always been there. But in the past 10 years, I'm sorry, American voters, you've let them take power. It's time to bring power back to humans, to humanity, to compassion, to giving people a voice. That's how you solve the debt ceiling. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Just random tangent, random thoughts, but I would love to hear what you think. Please respectfully put your thoughts in the comments. And again, if you're new to this channel, go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button, hit the bell so you know whenever I post a video. Okay, bye guys.